next thing I want to put in, you can dump in everything actually. This is pepper. Pepper, I will just use black pepper. That will be 1 teaspoon black pepper. Lightly cracked. And in it goes into the pot. Add in a beautiful can of coconut. I cut this tempeh into little strips. Right? Into little cubes and throw it in. You see that cleaver is very versatile. It's got a nice blade and you can just throw it in. Bring that to the boil. Okay. Now this coconut, because I've turned the can upside down, what I've got is the milk. And later you scrape in the cream to put in the soup. That's a better way. Because if you put in the cream first, what happens if it's overcooked? It will curdle. Then I will throw in my chilies. If you want the soup to be nice and hot, throw it in earlier. If not, later. These tomatoes will give it a slight sour taste. Throw it in as well. Cabbage can be a bit later, because the cabbage cooks faster than all the other vegetables. Now everything is boiling very nicely. I'm going to show you how I'm going to how I have cut up the eggplant. So eggplant has been washed clean. It can go in the soup the moment the soup comes up to a boil. Right? So I'm going to show you how I've done that in a minute. How did I cut this up? Where is the other knife? Now I've got a cook's knife here. What you do is, I've slit the eggplant that way. You can remove the top, remove that bottom. Okay? We don't want these two ends. Then, there's two methods of cutting the eggplant. One method is you can either cut this way at the slant and slit through. Slit through. That's for soup. In this cooking, you can cut it that way. But if you have cooked, or what I've done here is I have cut it crisscross, 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 that way. This way, as you cook, it will soften faster. Now that has come to a boil. I'm going to throw it in. This has been rinsed well of all the salt. It removes all the toxic in the eggplant. The water turns blackish brown. And now it's clear. I'll throw that in. Cook until it's nice and tender. And your dish will be ready the moment the eggplant is ready. So everything is boiling in beautifully. Cabbage can go in a bit later. We don't want the cabbage to be too mushy. If you overcook cabbage too much, don't have a nice flavor. So what I've done here in that cooking is I've crisscrossed my eggplant. Then I can cut it shorter, like that, and soak it in salt water, okay, till the water comes out blackish and throw it away. This is how the Malaysians would do it, but a lot of Italians or continental Lebanese, they just sprinkle salt direct on it and until it sort of perspire. You see beads of water on the surface of the eggplant. That means it's ready to be rinsed and to be used. So it's up to you. It's just like fashion, you know. Cooking is like a fashion. No hard and fast rules. So I leave it to you how you want to remove the toxic from the eggplant. Now I come to the cabbage now. Cabbage, let's see. When the eggplant is halfway cooked, then you can throw in your cabbage. So it's not ready yet. You can see it. I'm not closing up the pot, as you notice, because it can overboil. Then you have a very messy kitchen. Now, and what is I'm going to show you next is, I'm not going to forget this coconut cream. I'm not going to forget my tofu, of course. I'm adding tofu. Get rid of this chopping board, this chopping plastic. It's a world of plastic today. Okay, clean everything up. This is the cabbage. And you can add salt in this dish, or you can use soy sauce, or if you have enough stock cube, you don't have to add salt. So you can taste your food if you like. So this is cooking very well. The flavor from the lemongrass gives it a beautiful fragrance and also some flavor. Now this is a white curry. We call it lemak in Malaysia. Lemak, okay? Made from mainly coconut milk. White curry. You can turn it to a yellow curry by adding some turmeric powder or fresh turmeric from the garden. Now candle nuts. How do I get candle nuts? You can buy it from all Asian shops. It's optional, but it gives you a nice flavor. Right, I can see my eggplant almost halfway cooked. I throw in all my cabbage. This is the Savoy cabbage, the one in the big fat round one, where I have used 2 leaves of the cabbage and I've cut them to little triangles, no? Big size. I'll throw it all in. Don't want to overcook them. Right. Cabbage goes in. Tofu goes in last because tofu is already very quick cooking. If you throw in your tofu now, it all break up because the tofu I use is almost silken. It's not the hard tofu, but you can use the hard tofu as I go along. I will teach you hard tofu, soft tofu, whichever depends on the recipe I'm cooking. So now everything is looking good. If I want to cover this, I'm going to keep watch, alright? You have to be near your stove if you want to speed up. But that's fine. This is looking really good. So clear everything away. Don't need this anymore. Don't need this knife anymore. How to cut tofu. Most of you buy tofu and you don't know how to cut tofu. Let me show you. Cut tofu. You don't cut it on the table or chopping board. Cut from the packet. Now remove the covering. Then you have to wash the tofu. Now simmer, let it simmer because it's boiling hard now. You simmer, bring it to a simmer. Now this tofu here, I'm going to wash it, okay? Wash and rinse the tofu. Drain out all the water